The English colonization of North America represents one of history's most consequential expansions, permanently altering global demographics and power structures. Unlike Spain's rapid conquest or France's fur trade networks, England's approach emphasized permanent agricultural settlements, fundamentally changing the continent's ecological and cultural landscape. The late 16th century saw English ambitions crystallize through works like Richard Hakluyt's writings, which framed colonization as both economic necessity and Protestant duty against Catholic Spain. Early failures like the vanished Roanoke colony, 1587, demonstrated the challenges, but England's naval victory over the Spanish Armada, 1588, created opportunities for renewed efforts. Jamestown, 1607, founding marked England's first permanent foothold, though its early years became a cautionary tale of colonial mismanagement. The starving time winter of 1609-10 reduced the population from 500 to 60 through famine and disease, with archaeological evidence confirming desperate acts of cannibalism. The colony's salvation came unexpectedly through John Rawls tobacco experiments around 1612, creating a cash crop that aligned colonial survival with metropolitan profit. This economic breakthrough came at tremendous human cost, both for indentured English laborers and enslaved Africans brought in 1619, and for Powhatan tribes displaced by expanding tobacco plantations. The colonies developed distinct regional identities, reflecting their founding circumstances. Puritan Massachusetts, 1630, established tight-knit religious communities, contrasting with Virginia's plantation aristocracy. Maryland, 1634, became a Catholic haven, while Pennsylvania, 1681, implemented Quaker ideals of religious tolerance. By the late 17th century, a clear colonial system emerged. Southern plantations relied on slave labor for tobacco and later rice/indigo. Middle colonies became grain-producing breadbaskets. New England combined subsistence farming with maritime trade. Native American resistance significantly shaped colonial development. The 1622 Powhatan Uprising killed nearly a third of Virginia's colonists, while King Philip's War, 1675-76, devastated New England, proportionally the deadliest conflict in American history. English responses grew increasingly brutal, adopting tactics from their Irish conquests, destroying food supplies, offering bounties for scalps, and enslaving captives. Simultaneously, the colonies developed representative institutions like Virginia's House of Burgesses, 1619, creating political traditions that would later fuel revolution. The colonial population explosion after 1700 transformed British America from scattered outposts to thriving societies. Improved transatlantic migration and natural increase pushed numbers from 265,000 in 1700 to 2.3 million by 1770. This growth intensified territorial conflicts, particularly during the French and Indian War, 1754-63, which eliminated France's North American presence, but left Britain with massive war debts and colonial management challenges. By the mid-18th century, the colonies had developed complex economies and cultures blending European, African, and native elements. The Enlightenment influenced colonial intellectuals, while the Great Awakening, 1730s-40s, reshaped religious landscapes. However, the colonial system contained fundamental contradictions between slavery and liberty, between local autonomy and imperial control, that would culminate in revolution. The English colonial legacy endures in America's legal systems, land use patterns, and cultural foundations, though modern scholarship increasingly emphasizes its costs. The displacement of native nations, the enslavement of Africans, and environmental transformations that still shape the continent today.